Good morning. I want to talk about campaign promises and how we have got to put something in place that's going to change it. A lot of times you guys will see me close my eyes throughout the video because I'm just thinking, because I don't script this, but I know what I want to say. We have a problem with our system. And the biggest one is this: we don't hold the individuals who sign documentation to say that they are now in a position to be elected by the electorate, which is you and me when we cast our votes. We don't have anything to hold them accountable to the truth. We let them pivot out or not be accountable or say that, hey, things change. Well, wait a minute. You came out and you campaigned on this. Are you, now that you've got the job, saying that you're not going to do that before we even put you in there? Now that you've been elected, we've got to put something in place to hold our elected officials accountable. The campaign promises, they're just really hard to believe. And guys, I'm here. I'm telling you that I want you to vote for me. I want you to advocate for me, share my videos, give me the time of day when we're out in public to do something for you, to give you the authority, because I don't want to keep saying that our citizens aren't listening. They are listening. Our citizens don't have the authority to make any moves. You can hear anything, but if you can't do something about it, and we don't have a hand in doing something about the things that are happening. Sidebar, does anybody, when on earth did we get into a fight with Canada? You know, Canada, I think the gentleman's name is Ford, has said that, hey, if those tariffs go in place, we're going to cut the power off on some states up north. Who saw this coming? We're not trying to build ourselves into a crisis, but a lot of the conversation brings us there. And I'm trying to simply say that at this state level, you need to be asking a representative, hey, you got to give all of us a chance to weigh in, because we all are going to have to deal with your decisions. So if we're all going to deal with the decisions, then let us all have a voice on the things that impact us as a collective. I don't see something wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that. But we don't have any way to hold you accountable for not telling the truth. I do believe that there should be things like, hey, maybe there needs to be a number of how many campaign promises you can make so that they can be implemented within the first year you're in office. Hey, you need to author a bill for the things that you ran on, because this is why you got elected. So if you're going to elect me to put in legislative authority, I need to stand on that. I need to do that for the citizens. It must be done, but we have got to elect somebody that's going to ensure that it gets put on the books. And until we do that, things aren't going to change. They're not going to change just because we put a single person into a system that's working the way it's supposed to work. We're going to have to put people into the system to make the changes that we want to see. I believe people need more authority in our government. This is why I'm asking you to allow me to be your figurehead for governor of Florida. That's the sole purpose. Just the figurehead. I work for the people. If I make a decision, I have to go and get it bottom line by the electorate, the individuals who elected me. You can't just keep calling these people constituents, but you never reach back out to them. I am not the sum total of your life. But I'm asking you to give me the time. We have millennials, Gen Z. We have people growing up, coming up saying, hey, I did everything you asked me to do. And yet this world that I'm about to inherit is not the one that you said it was going to be like when I did all the studying, when I sat down, when I did all I was supposed to do. And I'm telling you from personal experience, it is difficult. It is not easy to make your children sit down and learn and know that when you look out here, that the things that they're having to learn, they're going to have to fight in order to be a part of. It's very difficult. The language that's being used is not even in the book that you're studying when it's time to go and play or fight in this political world. You're going to have to learn other words. And I do get ridiculed for having my kids sit down for 6 hours. Hey, man, you got to study. Why do I have to study? How come I just can't be? How come I just can't be? Because you can't. Because the world that you're going to be in, You get 18 years going K through 12. For some of us, 17. Others, if you graduate earlier, a little earlier than that. But for the majority, at 18, you get K through 12 to learn as much as you can. And it's not going to teach you everything. And I get bombarded and ridiculed and, just completely torn apart as a parent for pushing education, because I'm looked at as being very difficult, because I tell you, hey, you need to go learn a word, you need to write that word down, and you need to use it in a sentence. And you need to do that for 2 hours. You need to teach me something that you've learned. You need to tell me that you've learned a life lesson every day. I'm going to always be on you, pushing you to educate yourself. And it's difficult. And it is very difficult. But I am telling you that we cannot keep allowing our elected officials to have a way to weasel out of telling the truth. If I tell you that I am going to put legislative authority in for citizens, that's exactly what should be done. So we have a root cause problem. The problem is I can run on something and never do it. That's the problem. We got to fix some of the root cause problems. We've heard the term, they only medicate the symptoms. We have a problem, and the problem is we don't hold our elected officials accountable, because there's no way to do that. And it will take implementing a new system in order for that to happen into the system we already have going. We're going to have to integrate into this, and it's going to be pushback. But I'm asking you, when you hear a campaign promise, sit back and remember that person isn't held accountable. So I do get the question, what's going to make you different? What's going to make me different to you to give me a chance? That's the big problem right there. What's going to make you give me an opportunity to put in place a simple thing that says, hey, when our candidates run for any elected position, they must do so honestly. This means when they sign that document, they are now bound by law to be honest, or be held in the same judicial contempt that you would if you lied in court. And I'm telling y'all, by example, it is not easy to even get the truth out in court. I promise you this. I'm living that lifestyle. It is not easy to say, hey, I have the truth right here, which I turned in to the clerk. Well, I understand you turned it into the clerk. But what should have happened is it should have all been printed out and then brought to my desk. So everything that you can look at on the computer right now, you don't want to look at because it wasn't brought to your desk, but you can see it on the computer right now. That's correct. Well, that doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry, it doesn't. That's literally a real conversation with a magistrate. I'm not making these things up. So just trying to get the truth out is very difficult. So we need to put something in place to make sure this happens. Do not keep letting these campaign promises sway you if your candidate is not trying to put power in your hands. And that is my sole purpose. We've got to put more power in the hands of the citizens. And I can tell you right now, I've been saying this. I don't know if the majority of us are going to make all the wrong decisions, but I'm willing to bet on the majority over the minority. I really am. Because right now, our elected officials, they're running amok. They are running amok. So I need you to be careful, and I need you to be attentive, and I need you to your yeses to be your yeses and your no's to be your no's. You got to stand, and you got to stand firm. Yes, I'm okay with this. No, I am not okay with that. And you cannot always pivot unless that yes comes with factual information that can change your no. That's it. We got to take some of the feelings out and let the facts stand. And that's very important. But we have to put in a place where our citizens can be more assured that the individuals are held to a higher moral standard by the rules and regulations. We got to attack the root cause problem. You guys have a great day.